Good afternoon, Genitals. This is your Commissioner, Bradley J. Rogers. Great draft. Looks like we're going to have a really competitive season with the way the roster's laid out. Today I'm going to be going over our draft grades for all of us. I'm going to try to be unbiased and fair, look at everybody's first three picks, some steals, and some other notable acquisitions. But today we're going to be starting with Chris at the number 1 pick. You lucky duck. First pick, first round is going to go C-Mac, of course. I mean, who else are you going to grab there? Akers is a solid grab at your RB2. As we all know, the Rams love to pound the rock. Look for him to have a breakout season. Ingram could lose some touches to both Lamar and J.K., the rookie, but look for him to be their rushing vulture while you also are grabbing their receiving vulture in Andrews. Your QB situation kind of scares me. Cam and Watson are going to be threats with their mobility, of course, but without threatening wideouts, with D-Hop leaving and Cam really just having Edelman, look for them to be rushing less and escaping more. I think the real diamonds here are going to be your wideouts. D-Hop getting out of a toxic environment and going to Arizona, whereas Ty Hill is going to be coming off a Super Bowl campaign. They're both going to be top 5 wide receivers. But boy, do you got some flex. Sutton, Landry, Lamb, and Sanders. Your week 8's going to suck, bud. A-. Coming in at the number 2 pick, Manager Polk is going to decide to go with thigh guy Saquon Barkley. He's going to have an enormous workload in his 3rd year. Also grabbing Carson and David Johnson in the 4th and 6th is going to round out a solid starting 3. His decision to go wide receivers is in 2nd and 3rd are only going to benefit him if his QBs can play to their former MVP caliber. Shark is going to benefit from absolutely no talent in Jacksonville, but their QB is a sex god. Speaking of sex god QBs, we finally get to see TB12 out of a Patriots jersey, and it just feels right. Now with more weapons than our military, Tampa Tommy is going to have another amazing year with his new coach, B.A. Wentz will be a fine backup, but watch who he plays, and you might want to stash Hurts. Grade, B-. How in the fuck does the Big Daddy Supreme Masturbator Ben Roethlisberger fall to the 17th round? He's going to go off this year with receivers who are making closeted racists and a guy named Duck look like all-pro QBs. Kyler's a midge, but as usual, the man who is constantly thinking about RBs goes for 5 running backs in the first 10 rounds. And a handcuff. Ooh-wee! Sanders seems to be the only slight miscalculation for the first few weeks, as he might be sidelined, but even with that, we all know this boy loves him some bell cows, and he has them. Wide receivers is where it kind of falls off for me, though. His 3 starters and the backup aren't looking too swell either. Cooper is solid, but the rest of them just aren't as consistent. Brown and Harry seem to be going for another breakout year, but it all depends on their QB play. Jones Jr. also might be hindered by a sluggish Stafford. We will see. Oh, and he has Kelsey. Watch him drop 40 on the Texans. B. All right. My team is stacked. 2 proven stud QBs and 1 baby cub that is going to grow into a vicious defense-slaying tiger. 2 Clydesdale running backs and a young Colt fixing to truck and fuck some linebackers. And if you even looked at my wide receivers, immaculate studs. Diggs is fixing to eat on the AFC's broken and dismantled secondaries. Ridley will vulture and slot motherfuckers all over the South. Juju and Johnson are only going to benefit from Big Ben ripping his sausage constantly throughout his injury last season. My color crew of brown and green are going to be insanely destructive as they're just getting better. Their teams are better. Not to mention, I have the best looking kicker in the NFL. Rodrigo Blankenship. Good luck, boys. A+ fuckers. Okay, hatred aside, welcome, Brad. Now that that's out of the way, it seems like you know your stuff, bud. Smart taking Mahomes before anybody thought about it. It was also good grabbing another MVP out of Rodgers. looking to show that shithole state of Wisconsin not to draft a motherfucking QB and get him some fucking weapons. But kind of bad with Greedy Boy Kamara. Hopefully that works out for you, but if not, I got Latavius Murray. Grabbing Gordon and Lindsey is also smooth. I mean, knowing that run-heavy offense is going to benefit from Locke's performance and as well as him looking for them checkdowns to get him some receiving yards. Julio and Hilton are number one options on their team for receiving, but with Julio's end zone phobia from last season, hopefully that gets conquered during the quarantine. Gallup's going to receive some reps over Cooper, but I think CeeDee's going to come in and steal them from Gallup. Good luck, bud. See. Looks like you're taking a page from Nick's playbook this year, Dylan. Going real heavy and running back in the first 5 rounds, then sweeping up and grabbing some all-pro wideouts to close out your first 10 picks. Your starting running backs seem to fit the theme of a run-heavy offense due to inexperience at QB. I'm really low on Derek Carr right now. But I believe that we'll see them get a tremendous increase in carries this season, plus Drake and Mixon only benefit from their new QBs. That way that they can get some catches from Burrow or Murray if they need to check down. Thomas, accompanied by Thielen and Odell Bathroom Jr., is an excellent core of wideouts, not to mention scoring Keenan Allen and Robert Woods to allow for options given a bye week or an injury. But you really lose me on QBs, though. Danny Dimes, Matty Ice, and Baker. I don't see the upside. Dimes might break out, but I believe it's put up or shut up time for the other two. Colby, back into the fray, as they say. Coming off a disappointing season last year. Looks like Lady Luck might be in your favor, but Dalvin Cook might be your downfall. But if the Cook comes to work, then you'll be in for some good old TDs from Dalvin. Godwin might be the top wide receiver 2 in the league this year, especially since his QB is the GOAT of making wide receiver 2s and 3s shine. But I believe that you're banking heavily on the Seattle wideouts. So am I. But I believe that taking 3 tight ends means that you're also banking on vultures this year. Hurst could be your knight in shining flex armor due to, as previously discussed, Julio's condition. And Kittle will beast as always, but now with a fat stack in his pocket. And as we all know, Breeze and TE's solid squad. B. Auto Draft Gav gets Auto Recap Bread. Lamar is the baby goat. Minshew Mania will not run through the talentless streets of Tanksonville. The Gronk pick comes out of nowhere, so we'll see how that pans out, and that can be said about a lot of your picks. Moore, Kirk, Eckler, Swift, Montgomery. Everyone except Eckler isn't a clear number 1 option. But, as always, there will be a breakout. I believe that Eckler will actually shine this year with Ty God Taylor at the helm, and could benefit even more if Hair Bear starts later in the season. I gotta give your draft a C. Fucking auto draft.